It's true that one of the things that we've seen in the market lately is that lead generation is not only having teams that are a go-to-market option, but it's also everything that goes around it. It can be data related, because we know that the key of a successful campaign is the data. We come from a data background, so this is also something that makes us unique, knowing that we have those different understanding of those local markets, having specific data on each of those markets and the different segments. So I think that sourcing is not only about the lead gen team, but also everything that goes around it, the systems, being able to automatize most of the interchange of data. So being able to, as we do, create APIs or two-way APIs directly from systems to system to automatize. All those things are maybe things that companies would consider before sourcing this type of activity. Data is really a cornerstone of every lead gen activity, and it's really important to keep this in mind when we are launching this type of activity. We come from a data background. Our CEO was originally from a data background, working as a data broker as well. 8 or 9 years ago, when he was working in his garage. So we have this understanding of how data is important and how we can use it. One of the things to demonstrate it is not only something that we say. We are now close to 200 employees, and we do have internal skills in-house, and data is one of them. We have a big data team that is not only creating data with data researcher, but also data analysts. So I would even say that if we were not in the lead gen business, we would be a data scientist or data analyst companies, because this is really centric in our company. One of the things that is important is to be able to identify the different verticals in each country, to be able to identify the different segments in terms of company names, right? But also in terms of contacts. So we have a really extensive database of more than 2.5 million contacts in Europe. So this is something that enable us to really adapt to each of our clients' needs. But we go further than this, because this is the starting point, I would say. And then we are working on different data pool to improve the data and to really prioritize the data that we need to use in terms of calling or in terms of outbound. So in this specific case, I would mention the intent data. So we've created an intent data engine that is basically a tool that enable us to centralize all the different sources of intent data in the world, working with the main partners in the world that are providing intent data, so that we can really make sure that we have all the intent data available, and then we can match this on a weekly basis. So we receive millions of records on a weekly basis that are then matched by the data team to make sure that when we start the week, we can directly prioritize the companies where we see an increase of interest on a specific topic. So just to give you an idea, working in the IT ecosystem, there may be 2,000, 3,000 keywords that we can identify where we can see an increase of interest, either because within the company there have been an increase in terms of white paper consumption. Before it was the event, maybe now there's the webinars, and all those information are collected and then enable us to see where there might be an interest, so that we can prioritize this into calling and then be able to interact, find the right person within the company, so that we can interact and go all the way to generate the opportunity. So I would say that this is something that is really making a change in the industry, because we are not only let's say a call center or telemarketing companies, but we also include intent data. We also providing digital campaigns for our clients, so that we can have a mix between digital interaction and phone outbound. So it's really what makes us unique in that 360 approach, being able to cover all those different markets. So in terms of KPIs, it's true that each campaign is different depending on the target audience, depending if it's an account-based marketing campaign focusing on large accounts, on tier one, on maybe SMBs, larger SMBs. So KPIs may vary depending on the objectives of the campaign. But I would say that as a rule, we usually have our BDRs doing between 110 and 130 attempts. That includes not only the phone attempts, but as well the outbound on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So this is more or less the work that we are putting in on a daily basis, and these enable us to have, on average, between 8 to 12 conversations. Once again, depending on the segment we are targeting, but between 8 and 12 conversations with like meaningful conversation with the buying persona that our clients are targeting. So it's important to understand those numbers, because it's not only the final objective, of course, is to have those leads generated and to create direct return on investment. But one of the things that is also interesting is the fact that we're going to be able to position the brand and the solution to a really segmented target and to a large number of people. If we're taking the average of 10 people a day within the ideal customer profile, with 20 working days, more or less, it means that by working with us, you'll be able to have a specific interaction, meaningful conversation with more or less 200 prospects per month with one BDR. So this is also something that is interesting to think about when it comes to creating awareness, positioning a new solution. I know that one of the things that we're doing as well is helping companies that are either creating a new product or targeting a new job function, because some companies may be really strong when it comes to some LOB, line of business, for finance, for example, but they don't have the contacts needed in other departments. So, for example, a company might want to target some new job functions. So, let's say supply chain, for example, and by working with us, they will not only generating those opportunities that they can over to their sales team, but they can also position themselves on a new market with a new target.